Hello! I'm unhappy with the way my room looks right now. So, I got to work by measuring out all of the pieces of furniture that I have, putting it down on paper, because paper is so much easier to work with at the start. And then creating a map of it, still on paper, so that then I can visualize it like this. My next step is to put it onto the computer, and on the computer, I'm going to be using Pixlr, pixlr.com/e. Not sponsored, they're just a free, really cool photo editing software that you should definitely use if you don't have one. So I'm going to start off by creating a blueprint square grid where each box is equivalent to 1 foot. Duplicate that out so then you have a full-on grid system. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a foot of boundary around it. So then when I create the images, there's a little bit of buffer before hopping into creating all of the furniture again. You'll notice on the right side of the screen, I am creating different layers for each piece of furniture. That way, when I want to try out different design ideas, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience for me to move them around. Not a lot is happening here, so I'm probably going to skip past most of this, but making the bed, it's got a quilt pattern and it's blue, so that's what I did with it. My little bedside table, if you will, I can also toss down in there. And then add these privacy partitions, which these privacy partitions are a lot about blocking sunlight from getting into my eyes and more importantly onto my computer when I'm working in the afternoon. I like having sunlight come into my room, but if I'm on my computer, I need to be able to block that off. But I don't want to just shut the blinds because it's pretty healthy to have sunlight streaming into the room in general, but it's pretty difficult to work on the computer when there's a lot of sunlight in the room. So now I'm designing out the desks, and I totally could have just left them as, rectangles, but I decided to make 5.1 a rectangle with a little spot on it because it is my play desk, quote unquote, where I'm gonna do video games and stuff, as opposed to having both the desks be video game and work. That's really the core of this issue. I was doing too much work and video games at the same spot, and so I couldn't really do either super effectively. So the plan is to split out my desk, which is a big L desk, into 2 separate desks, and get rid of that corner piece. So what I'm going to go through now real fast is the different iterations. And you'll notice how much easier it is to try out different designs. Up until this point, it's taken a lot of time and effort to create all this stuff in comparison to drawing it out by hand. But after this, it's like a minute or 2 for each design, and then I'm done. Everything in here has been super sped up, and at the end of the video, I will show how long it took me to do each different segment. But anyway, yeah, I'm just messing around, looking at different flow ideas, thinking like, okay, if I'm facing the door, does that make sense? What if I put them next to each other? I didn't like that one. And then this last one, I liked it. It had balance, I think, except for the bedside table just kind of sitting there. Maybe I could get like a dresser, but I don't want to spend money. Sorry, that is out of the question. Anyway, these are the 6. I asked my family to vote, and I got 4 responses, 1 for the bottom middle, 2 for the top right, 1 for the bottom left. I voted for the bottom right. Which one did you vote for? So taking apart everything, it ended up becoming like this. So it was the bottom middle. If you voted for that one, you win. Yay! Oh, I should show a before and after, shouldn't I?